This is your WCIA 3 forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Well, it's been a rainy start to the week, that is for sure. Rain showers still moving across parts of central Illinois. You can see a nice little area here that runs from just northeast of Springfield back down into Shelby County there near Shelbyville and into Cumberland County, say down towards the Toledo area. We've got those rain showers, as you can see there. As we take those graphics full, we'll show you exactly where some of this activity is going to be heading as we go throughout the course of tonight. With those showers and storms, we are going to see that, well, we're not going to be out of the woods for quite some time when it comes to this rain. Take a look at the loop, and you can see that these little showers that stretch from Champaign to Piatt County here, and all that next little line is moving off here to the north and east, and so we're going to see things fill back in closer to I-74 and I-72. Temperatures in the 60s right now, cloudy and rainy. We'll talk about how long the rain sticks around when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
His smile.
His laugh.
His laugh.
It was just a joy to be around.
Yes, he was.
A family is reeling after their son died from COVID-19 complications. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Roscoe. The 18-year-old went into cardiac arrest last night shortly after being put on a ventilator. WCIA 3's Jen Last is with us. Now, you talked to his parents. How are they remembering their son?
Jennifer, they say Joey Hoopengarner was a quiet kid with a great sense of humor who absolutely loved being at school. The junior at PBL was crushed when he first came down with COVID-19 about a week ago because he didn't want to miss a single class. His mom says he always put others first and was so worried about her health because she also tested positive. His parents were hopeful he was turning the corner, but then yesterday he told them he felt worse and wanted to go to the hospital. Doctors in Paxton put him on a ventilator. They were preparing to take him to Carl, but he went into cardiac arrest and died. Now they're trying to find comfort in sharing memories.
Just remember that he was always a happy boy. He had a lot of people that really loved him.
Yep.
And
I just hope this does not happen to anybody else. It is the worst feeling in your life to use a child.
yeah, it is. Everybody want to remember you just, like a happy boy.
High school staff members say Joey, who had autism, had blossomed over the last couple of years. PBL is offering counseling services to students throughout the week and longer if needed. Joey's parents say he wasn't vaccinated yet, and now they're all in quarantine while his mom recovers from the virus. Back to you.
Our hearts go out to them. All right, Jen, thank you. We reached out to the Ford County Health Department. They say, quote, local health departments are affected by every COVID case and every COVID-related death. We grieve these deaths right alongside the community. More than 45 people have died of COVID-19 in that county since the start of the pandemic. Here's a look at today's COVID numbers statewide. The state is reporting 956 new cases. 6 more people have died. The 7-day positivity rate is 2.9%. Nearly 38% of the state is fully vaccinated. More than 10.4 million shots have been given in total. The daily average is 61,000 doses. Big news from the governor. He said if you are fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. In most cases, the state is ending emergency rules on masking and distancing. This is based on the latest CDC guidance. You still have to wear masks on public transportation at places like nursing homes or prisons and in healthcare settings. They will also still be required in schools. He says if you're not vaccinated, you still have to wear one in most settings. If you're struggling to pay rent, help is coming. Applications for the second round of rental assistance funding are now open. A total of $1.1 billion will be given to renters and landlords to prevent evictions. Anyone who rents their home is behind on payments and experienced financial hardship during the pandemic is eligible. If your application is approved, you'll get a one-time grant of up to $25,000. There's a new service to help you get the information you need before you go to court. Court Help was created during the pandemic. It'll help you get help with anything from filing forms to getting legal aid. The team behind the program says it'll be especially helpful for people dealing with foreclosures and debt.
When you don't have the knowledge and education to know how to go to court or to know what the law is. It makes it very, very difficult to represent yourself.
Illinois court help will be offered in English and Spanish with an option to loop in other interpreters as well. A woman accused of setting a fire that killed her boyfriend and baby pleaded not guilty in court today. Stephanie Sanders is charged with arson, manslaughter, and murder. The fire happened in early March in Vermilion. Michael Phipps and 2-month-old Nettie Phipps died. 3 firefighters are recovering after jumping out of a second-story window during this apartment building fire in Beardstown. One of those firefighters was the fire chief, Brian Becker. Their injuries are serious, but they will survive. The chief and one of the other firefighters are still in the hospital. The other is at home. Firefighters saved one person from inside the building. That person will also survive. The fire destroyed the homes of a lot of immigrant workers.
I lost everything. I lost my clothes, so I lost even if the clothes that I wear for going to work. I have nothing left, just my pajamas, nothing. Everything is gone.
The fire department started to tear down the outer walls of the building today to put out the rest of the flames. They are still investigating what started it. There was another fire, this time in a Danville home. 2 people were hurt. It happened on Bryan near South Buchanan. The people living there were able to escape on their own, but 2 were treated for burns. Firefighters were able to put out everything and rescue several dogs. The cause is under investigation. Springfield firefighters saved a cat during a house fire. It happened near East Cedar in South 19th Streets this morning. There's major damage. The homeowner now has to find another place to stay. No word on a cause. 2 Central Illinois men have been charged in connection to the attack on the U.S. Capitol. Someone sent the FBI an 11-second video of an Oakwood man chanting USA in the Capitol's crypt room. Other surveillance videos showed Douglas Wangler and another man, Bruce Harrison, inside the building. The 2 admitted they walked inside, but told the FBI they didn't do anything violent. They were in federal court in Urbana Friday for charges including disorderly conduct in a Capitol building. Champaign County Crime Stoppers looking for tips on an aggravated robbery. It happened at Kaufman Lake in Champaign on Sunday, May 2nd. Police say the victim was walking around the lake when a man approached her. They say the man held her at knife point and demanded her cell phone. He then took off on foot with her phone.
The suspect is described as a black male, 20 to 25 years of age, wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, dark shorts, and wearing a blue surgical mask. He's also reported to have a tattoo on his left leg.
Police shared this composite picture of the suspect. If you have any information, contact Crime Stoppers. We have that information on our website. Some people in Potomac are trying to form a neighborhood watch. They had one in the early 90s. It ended after people lost interest. Potomac is a low crime area, but organizers say they want to restart the program to look after the senior citizens in town. The town's librarian was part of the first neighborhood watch. She says it's about reconnecting with the community.
I think the neighborhood watch will be good because it's going to get some people out of their homes and get to know people. Because there's some of us that I don't know who the new kids are in town or the new families.
The police chief says the village will have its first neighborhood watch meeting on May 26th. Police say a suspicious package in an Illinois town square was empty. A custodian found that box outside of the courthouse in Robinson today. They closed off the area and called the state police bomb squad. An x-ray showed nothing inside the package, but they do think there was intent on leaving it there, so they are still investigating. Gas prices are starting to drop in central Illinois, why you should still watch out for high numbers at the pump. Plus, changes could be coming to the state's ethics laws. Who's trying to fight corruption with elected officials?